Good morning, fellas. Blue Dream MMA here, and today we're going to talk about UFC that just wrapped up, and we witnessed one of the most dominant display of championship takeover of all time. We've seen Dricus Duplessis, the leader of the Tour de Force, get absolutely dismantled by Khamzat Chimaev and his honestly scary wrestling, high level. It's really surprising to see just how unable Dricus was to actually even get up. He kept getting stuck under the crucifix, and he took like close to 550 punches to the face. Most of them were not significant because most of them were pity-patter shots. So realistically, no physical damage was landed on that fight. I think all the damage though was purely mental. I think this is going to really expose whether Dricus Duplessis is someone that can bounce back from not just a loss but a humiliating loss. To lose like this as the champion is not something that you see often, and especially when you consider Khamzat Chimaev, he usually dominates people, but he doesn't do it throughout 5 rounds without getting tired, never breathing hard. Like what we saw at UFC 319 was a monster of a man. Khamzat Chimaev is a different guy now, man. I think he's way scarier than he's ever been because the cardio was not an issue at all. I've never seen him go more than 2 rounds without breathing hard, and this man went 5 whole rounds, no problem, no issue. A lot of people are gonna complain that it was a boring fight. I don't agree. As a wrestler, to me, that was not boring at all. To see like how helpless Dricus was on the floor, to see the genius of Chimaev, how well he follows whenever Dricus had an opportunity to get off. Khamzat was there following everything, every move. He's like just like Dricus said. He said he felt like a blanket, and that's what it is. Someone blanketing you is so mentally challenging, and you can tell that Dricus was more drained mentally in that fight than it was physically. I had it for DDP. I thought DDP was going to win this fight, but wow, Chimaev showed that there's levels, man. It's multiple levels. It's not even that cool. That fight was not close. There was not one moment that Dricus had, except at the absolute end, where honestly the ref tried to mess up Chimaev, man. Try to fuck up my boy. But when they stood him up at the last minute of the fight, that's what they did to Kamaru Usman, by the way, and that's how he got knocked out by Leon Edwards. And to this day, I've never forgiven Herb Dean because that's messed up. And refs that do that need to be fined, bro. Because Khamzat almost got finished at the end of the fight. He almost got subbed by rear naked choke. And honestly, that's bullshit. That was not supposed to happen. He had dominant position, and the worst thing is that they were stood up after Dricus almost managed to get out, but he put himself back on the ground by attempting a submission, which was absolutely stupid. He should have just kept the positioning and try to unload on Chimaev, but he didn't do that, and because of that, he ended up on his back. And then Mark Goddard, I think, was the ref, stood him up, which is no sense. But yeah, now we've seen that we have a new champion at 185, and this division is on fire. It hasn't been this exciting since forever. I don't even think the Anderson Silva era was this exciting, because Anderson Silva era was mostly a lot of Anderson Silva putting work on guys. But in this era, we have a lot of guys that can fight for the title next. And with Chimaev's style, I think there's a few guys in the division that might be able to pose some problems, because there's some good grapplers at 185. So this is what I think should be next for DDP and Khamzat Chimaev. So first of all, for Khamzat Chimaev, I believe you need to hit the iron while it's still hot. There's a lot of hype on this guy. There's a lot of hype on Chimaev right now. You got to do it right now, because if you wait, he has a style that can get him beat. And honestly, that can mess up a good matchup, in my opinion. And this matchup is Khamzat Chimaev versus Renier de Ridder. Renier de Ridder. I don't know how they say his name, bro. Renier de Ridder, I believe it should be the next one for Khamzat Chimaev. He has the size. He's a high-level grappler. Submits everybody. And not to mention the fact that he's really, really durable. Has good cardio. Decent takedown defense. And he will actually attempt takedowns on Chimaev. I think this fight has a chance to be a really high-level grappling affair. And this is what I think should be next for Khamzat Chimaev, because he did not take any damage. He went out there, absolutely mangled Dricus Duplessis, and did not take a single hit. His lip wasn't even busted, nothing. He's good, bro. He could fight again next week. But obviously the next few cards are already pretty stacked up. We have UFC 320 coming up for Pereira versus Ankalaev. First week of October is pretty close. UFC 321, we have the heavyweight strap. You can put the fight there, but I believe the best card to have the most hype around this fight and around the other fights that can be happening on the card would be UFC 322, Madison Square Garden, where you have, we don't know yet, it's not confirmed, but it should be Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena. I think you put Chimaev versus RDR as the co-main event, and you got yourself a banger of a main card. Honestly, two main events back to back with four of the most hot fighters right now in the UFC. You got what you need, man. Like, the UFC can really do something interesting with this one. Now, for Dricus Duplessis, who I think he should be fighting next should be Fluffy Anthony Hernandez. That to me is the next guy up. I think he's the next guy that has a real chance to win that belt as well. So I would like to see Fluffy Hernandez get a chance at number one contender spot, fighting Dricus Duplessis next. Both of them are really interesting. My last video was on Fluffy. I said that he has an interesting style when it comes to fighting a lot of these goofier guys at the top, these Toon Force dudes. And I really think that you really have an exciting one. You have two cardio machines, two guys that will push forward and that don't mind getting really dirty in there and give a good fight for the fans and give a hell of a fight for the opponent. So I really think that DDP versus Anthony Hernandez is a great fight coming up. Of course, with these two matchups, we have some issues with the rest of the division, because the next big fight coming up is going to be Caio Borralho versus Imavov. Obviously, this is a title eliminator, but let's be honest, the whole division is a little too wild right now. The whole division is too hot. Some guys are gonna have to take some L's. It's like that in the lower divisions most of the time. It sucks. It is what it is, bro. So I think that the winner should fight Sean Strickland. I understand that Sean Strickland currently is in a suspension. He's currently suspended, but I think the UFC will try to get something going, especially with how he's talking shit to Chimaev. That's also an interesting fight right there. But we cannot give Sean Strickland a title shot, another one right now. I think Sean Strickland needs to have a win, and I think the winner of the Caio versus Imavov will be a good one. He already defeated Imavov, obviously, and I think that's why I don't want Imavov to get a title shot, even if he wins. Now, if it's Caio that wins versus Sean Strickland, you have an interesting fight as well right there. Now, the loser of that fight, I believe, should fight Israel Adesanya. Whether it's Caio or Imavov, Imavov wanted him beat Adesanya. That would definitely be a good rematch, considering that he wasn't doing too well until he finished. And if it's Caio versus Adesanya, I think Caio has a good style to beat Adesanya. So this is my opinion regarding the trajectory of 185 currently. The following fights, in order to decide who should be the next contenders and champions, all that. Once again, I have Khamzat Chimaev versus RDR, UFC 322, Madison Square Garden, co-main event of Islam versus Jack Della Maddalena. Then I want to see DDP versus Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. The winner of Caio Borralho versus Nassourdine Imavov, I want to see them fight Sean Strickland. The loser of Nassourdine versus Caio Borralho, I want to see them fight Israel Adesanya. this is what I think we should see coming up. Now it's up to the UFC to decide whether or not that makes sense. And you guys also, man, let me know what do you think about this. Drop a comment, drop a like, and subscribe. So let me know what you think about the video. Let me know what you think about the matchup. Do you have better matchups? Do you think Khamzat's going to be champion for a while? Do you think he's going to lose the next bout? Let me know, man. So thank you for everything. Thank you for paying attention. I'll see you in the next video. Alright? So peace out. Because I'm out.